Hey, welcome back everybody. Today we're working on the Lectric XP4 High Step. So I have done a few modifications to the bracket and then take you down here. So I did run my external battery. I had it clamped around here. It fit right down, basically sat here and then clamped around here and here. So it worked great. But what I'm going to do is put the 14 amp hour top tube battery here that comes on the Lectric 1 and the XP Trike, the Expeditions, those. So what I have done is made a few modifications to this bracket. I have drilled these threads out so I can run a screw all the way down and screw that in tight. When I had this on here before, it bounced a little bit with these two. So it would be just fine. I just want it more secure so you can't hear it, you know, rattle at all or anything else. So we're gonna go ahead and finish this up. I did go get some longer screws to go through here, through the bracket and then into the bottle cage. So we're gonna try that here in just a minute. What I did, guys, is went and got a longer bolt that'll go in here. It will go through both of these, and hopefully without hitting the battery. I may have to put another spacer on it, but we'll find out here shortly. These are both tight. What we're going to do is go ahead and mount this top plate. So what we have is this bracket bolted down in two places, and it is good and sturdy. Now the third bottle carrier cage is right here, so I drilled the threads out of this so that I could run a longer bolt through the bracket and cinch it down on that third bottle cage bracket. So what we're going to do is slide this up, and we're going to start this first. Have to do is go through both of these brackets. So what I did was put a screw in this one first and then tighten the other two. So then that way I would have the room to do all of this. So we're going to just run this in a little bit so it's in there, and then we're going to take our other two screws and we're going to mount these solid so this will not bounce, hypothetically. So let's find out. That's all the way up. So we're going to tighten this one, or snug that one, and then snug this other one. What you don't want to do is get too carried away and tighten them, because you still need to move these around since we got so many of these that we're putting in. So is this necessary? Probably not. I just wanted to make sure it didn't rattle and bounce around on me. Cinch this one down, and that should lock everything in. And then what we're going to do is grab our Lectric, just turn this around, 48 volt 14 amp hour battery, and this is off of the Expedition or the Lectric 1. What we're gonna do is just slide that on there. Bam, there you go. Now we have a 17.5 amp hour long range battery in this bike, and then we just added a 14 amp hour battery in parallel. Now I do have another parallel connector coming, so you could actually run 3 batteries with this. But what we're going to do is do a long range test on this bike, and I want to disconnect the top tube battery, and then we're going to ride it, see what it shuts off at, get back, we'll charge the bike back up, and then we're going to plug this big battery in up top and then go for a ride. So I have a couple videos coming. This one right here is just to show you how simple it is. I'll put a link for that bracket, and then we're gonna go for a ride so I can show you that this works. I don't have any way to, well, actually I do. Okay, we're gonna unplug this. So this battery is unplugged, and then I'm gonna try and power the bike up. Okay, the bike powers up. I'm gonna shut it back off, and then we're gonna come over here. I'm gonna turn the switch off to the off position, and then I'm gonna show you when I power this back up. nothing happens. So we got no battery power. So we're gonna come in here. I'm gonna hook this one back up. I'm gonna leave the switch off on this battery, on the main battery down here. And then, so right now, the only battery that's gonna be on is this one. So it is plugged in, as you can see. So we're gonna go ahead, turn this on. There you go, guys. We are good to go. Give it a little thumb throttle. Yep. Ooh, there you go. All right. So that goes to show you we're 100% charged on our big 14 amp hour battery. On these, you do have to push the button in the front to get it to wake up. So now we can go down here and move the bike back over. We can go down here and turn the bike back on the switch. So now that battery is on. We almost doubled the range by adding a top 2 battery. And let me show you. It does not move at all. So I'll show you down here. So these are the 3 bottle cage brackets. So front one, which is the one we drilled out and ran a screw all the way through. This screw here was already in there, and then this one's already in there. They came with this bracket. So as you can see, the bracket's pretty well centered. Looks great. And actually, I kind of dig the way it looks. Almost looks like I got a little gas tank. So, and technically you do. Just a gas tank for electricity. Anyway, guys, I might throw a zip tie on this. Just like I said, it's just temporary. I just wanted to show you guys how quick and easy this is to add a 14 amp hour electric battery to this, along with your 17.5 amp hour long range battery in front. So what I want to do is run the main battery down completely dead, just see what we get out of it by riding it around. And then I'm going to plug in this top battery to get me home, and then we'll charge both of them, and then we'll go out and screw around, see what kind of range we get and stuff on it. So thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe. I really appreciate each and every one of you. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll put a link in the description for electric all-wheel on their kit for the battery balancer. Obviously, you just get the battery from Lectric if you have an extra one or whatever, or you can just buy one. And then I will leave a link for the Amazon for those brackets to mount the bracket for the 14 amp hour battery. That's a mouthful to say. All right, guys, I reattached this battery and it is very secure. It doesn't move, it doesn't bounce, it doesn't rattle. So just by adding that one bolt that goes all the way through, completely secured it. It doesn't, I mean, that's the suspension on the bike. So yeah, it is nice and secure. So that battery doesn't rattle, doesn't move. It is super legit. So we can take this battery off by just putting the key in, sliding it forward. You can remove the battery completely. So it'll clean up top of that. The only thing you'll have is that black case that holds the battery, so you can charge it or you can just plug it in. This is the old style 1-pin charger, so you just have to plug it in and charge it. It will be separate. My cat tried to kill me. Get a cat, they said. It'd be fun, they said. Anyway, so it's starting to rain on me, guys. That's all right. Sacrifice for my YouTube followers. Thank you guys again for liking and subscribing. I really do appreciate it. It helps the channel out a bunch. We're gonna do a range test just to see what the actual bike will do at 17.5 amp hours. And then we'll get home with a 14 amp hour, and then we will do a range test with both of them. All right, there she is, guys. She's all put together and battery is completely secure. And then we can use our keys to pop that off. So use your keys like normal, slide that up and off. Bam, bike is still at 100%, battery's off. Show you if I can get there. Battery's at 100%. Shut that off. Slide that on. Clicks on. Make sure you don't ride with your key in there because you will lose it. And there you go. Oh, hey, what do you think of my gloves, guys? Just got these COLLABS Reaper gloves, shout out. These are awesome. You can still use your phone. Anyway, yeah, shout out to COLLABS. These gloves are pretty badass. I love them. So anyway, when we do the range test, these gloves will actually come in very handy. So along with my seat, upgraded seat, and suspension seat post, that'll make a huge difference. But I went out on this bike on the regular seat, and I could not believe that I actually attempted that. That was really stupid. The stock seats are very uncomfortable. So anyway, that's where we're at, guys. Secondary batteries on, 17.5 plus 14, and we got some serious range on this. No more range anxiety. I went out and did, I want to say 18 miles with my neighbors, and I was at 90%, and could have just kept going. And my top speed was 29.7 miles an hour, and I averaged 13 miles an hour. This setup is fantastic, and it doesn't even look bad when you go in here. And let's go ahead and pop that battery back off. So if you don't want the battery on there, that's all you're gonna see is just your mount, and you barely even notice that. All right, guys, thanks for joining me on this little install. It was really fun to do. No more range anxiety. Electric all wheel has the kit, and then you have to buy the bracket separately. I'll put a link in the description for the bracket, and it does come with 4 screws, so you can put it into the bottle carrier, and then you put the other 2 screws in through the mount that Electric All Wheel supplies. And then you run a battery balancer from Electric All Wheel, and you are good to go. All you need is a secondary battery. You can get that from Lectric. You can go to our website at www.generationebikes.com and order any batteries or anything that you might need from Lectric, and we'd love to help you out. Thanks again, guys.